Hey everybody, you are about to watch a brand new episode of Game Nights. This time we're not playing Commander, we're doing something brand new. We are playing Archenemy Nicol Bolas.
And we also have two awesome guests. We're bringing in Gavin Verhey, who was the lead designer on this set, as well as Mel Li, who's back because she was the lead creative on this product.
Yeah, pretty cool. We get to play with the people that made the game. And of course, this all would not be possible if it wasn't for our awesome sponsor of the show, cardkingdom.com. Make sure that you use the affiliate link, cardkingdom.com/GameNights, the next time you make a purchase for any Magic-related accessories or cards.
It really does help us out, and it keeps this show running.
Yeah, very important.
The other way to support the show is directly through patreon.com/commandzone. We really appreciate all of our patrons. In fact, they all just got the new Aftermath playmat. They're the first ones ever. If you want rewards like that and others, again, patreon.com/commandzone.
And of course, like always, we have a huge giveaway at the end of this show. We have all kinds of product, Josh. I mean, have we ever done a giveaway this big before?
No, this is the biggest ever in the history of our channel. We are blowing the doors wide open. You do not want to miss out. Again, stick around to the very end for a chance at winning all of that stuff.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's get into it. Archenemy Nicol Bolas.
My name is Gavin Verhey. I'm a game designer at Wizards of the Coast, which basically means I make games and play games all day and make Magic awesome. So today, I brought a special treat down for my friends here at Game Nights.
Welcome back to a brand new episode, and this one's a little different. We're actually not playing Commander this time. We are playing Archenemy Nicol Bolas.
Archenemy Bolas tells the story of the biggest and baddest villain in all of Magic. It's the Elder Dragon, Nicol Bolas.
So Archenemy is a format where three players are pitted against one player. The one player is the archenemy. The other three players are on a team.
And so Bolas is going to go up against three members of the Gatewatch, Chandra, Gideon, and Nissa, and try to take them down.
So today, I'm going to be playing the Nicol Bolas deck. I have to take on Mel, Jimmy, and Josh. So you might be thinking, it's hard for one player to take on three players, right? Well, that's where the scheme deck comes in.
That's a second deck of cards. So each turn, the archenemy flips over the top card of that scheme deck, and whatever the effect is, that's what they get.
And these are basically super powerful abilities.
For example, destroying their creatures, making them discard cards, creating tokens.
Each one of these dastardly schemes gives the archenemy a crazy powerful effect that's going to drastically impact the turn.
That's the way that the one-player team can kind of even out against the three players.
The archenemy is also endowed with 40 life against the puny 20 life of the three other opponent players.
Archenemy is great because if you're on the team against the archenemy, you get to team up with the other players. You get to look at each other's hands.
They get to take their turn all at once, confer amongst themselves and strategize and come up with their tactics, and it brings a lot of co-op style dynamics to the group.
So for game one, I'm going to be playing the Nissa deck. So Nissa is going to help other players on her team ramp and draw cards. So the hope is really that she can sort of stabilize and help the long game for her fellow planeswalkers.
In game one, I'm going to be representing mono white by playing the Gideon Jura deck. It does everything that a mono white deck wants to do. It's going to pump out a lot of ground creatures and also the support mechanic, which means I can put +1/+1 counters on my creatures and other creatures as well, which means I'm going to be a huge team player in helping us get our forces up to battle the archenemy.
And in game one, I'm going to be playing the Chandra deck. This deck is mono red, so it's definitely going to be very aggressive. I'm hoping that I can pick off Gavin's important creatures with the removal spells and be able to get in there for damage and sort of get him on the back foot so we can attack him down for the win.
All right, let's play. Welcome, Gavin Verhey, to Game Nights.
Only one may stand, although in this episode there might be three standing.
There might be three standing.
Whoa, hang on, guys. I feel like we're missing something.
That's right. It's time to ignite our sparks.
Much better. Now we are talking. All right, are you ready to meet your doom?
Yes.
Well, there's one thing we must do first. Here's the deck of 20 archenemy schemes, each more horrible and perilous than the last.
No.
The first thing we do is we flip a scheme?
I draw a card, because
Okay.
multiplayer, gonna draw a card on my first turn. And then I turn over the first scheme at the start of the main phase. Here we go. no evil.
Ooh, okay.
So we're off to a good start. Not much is going on from that scheme.
This is probably the best scheme for us because it basically does nothing because we don't have creatures and we're not likely to cast anything on turn 1.
Jimmy,
Yes.
you cannot cast creatures, you fool.
No.
Nissa, there'll be no non-creature spells coming my way from your hand next turn. And Josh, any haste creatures you have will not be able to attack.
Oh, that's smart because I am red.
Which doesn't actually do much on the first turn. I'm already feeling behind against 3 opponents. And I'll still play my card for the turn, a Cinder Barrens, red or black mana, and go.
Whew. Bullet dodged.
So we all take our turn at once?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's draw.
Play a land.
Mountain.
I too shall play a land.
Turn 1's pretty uneventful for everyone across the board. We all just play a land, pass, and just hope that the second scheme isn't going to wreck our faces.
All right, and the second one we have, for each of you, a gift.
Whoa,
Ooh, gifts. I love gifts.
I love gifts too.
Okay, so this scheme is way worse than the last one. We're talking 9 power it adds to the board immediately on turn 2.
Which is really, really bad.
So you,
Okay.
oh man, he just made 3 3/3s on turn 2?
Now this is what Bolas is talking about. And then it's time for Nightscape Familiar.
This is one of those cards that like starts out real small, but the incremental advantages that he gives are gonna be huge. And he's also really hard to get rid of because of that regenerate.
I have 10 power on the board by the end of my second turn. Good luck, friends.
Play a land for the turn.
I too shall play a land for turn.
I will play land for turn.
I believe.
Does anybody
it's-
have any plays?
Nope.
Yes, yes!
I do have a play. I'm going on an expedition.
Ooh, to Eye or Ruin.
That's gonna help me start getting more cards eventually, and it's sort of investing in my future.
All of us are kind of side glancing each other going, uh-oh, we're about to get hit by all of these horrors and none of us have real blockers.
It's not looking great at the moment.
They didn't do anything? They're already falling behind? Well, that was nice.
This is getting worse by the second.
And it'll get even worse now. Let's see what we have. We've got the Light in the Hunt.
Oh boy.
So he gets only 1 3/3 this time, which I guess is good, except for the fact that we couldn't deal with the other 3/3s yet. So it's just like starting to snowball on us.
Oh, last turn was 3 3/3s. This one was 1. I liked last turn's a little bit better. Well, let's see here. Josh, a horror. Nissa, a horror. Jimmy, yet another horror. And because you have an extra permanent, Mel, take a Nightscape Familiar for an extra point of damage.
Oh my god, so many horrors out on the board.
Would you say you're horrified?
We're all taking a ton of damage. And our life totals are already starting to dwindle.
Well, I've got a lot of time to crush you guys, so I'll play a Swamp, and I don't even need to play anything. I'm done.
So the fact that Gavin doesn't play a spell is actually really good for us. So this is where we can maybe start to make some headway in the game. Okay,
This is my plan.
that's a good plan.
Okay.
Can anybody do any? Can you do any damage to him? Just even 1 point of damage? Any damage?
No.
Do you think I should just play this, even though I'm not going to get the?
Yeah,
Trigger?
I think so. I mean, it doesn't look like you're gonna get it anytime soon.
Okay. It's all ogre. I don't love playing the blood ogre here because I don't get the bloodthirst trigger. And it would be really nice to have a 3/3 first strike because then I can block those tokens that are coming at us, but you just can't do nothing for 4 straight turns.
All right, I'm gonna make my play. It's our favorite insect. Fertilid! So now I can at least get one body out on the field, and hopefully can stick around long enough that I can help my teammates ramp.
I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna pass the turn.
Awfully suspicious. And it is time to bow to my commands.
Oh gosh. So some schemes go away as soon as you use them. This is an ongoing scheme. It basically means this scheme is kind of like an enchantment. It stays on the battlefield.
Josh, you will bow to my commands.
So I cannot attack you until that thing's gone?
Correct.
It's the laziest ogre I've ever seen.
It's not all ogre.
Chandra, pun master.
I think it is time for a little lightning bolt on Fertilid.
Oh, he had so many dreams!
If I attack, they've got 2 2/2s. They could block one of my 3/3s and take it out. And the Fertilid ramping them, I really don't want them to get ahead on mana early, so I gotta cut that out of the picture.
Fertilid didn't even get to do his job!
I've looked over the table. They're smiling. It seems like they've got a plan, but their plans are all about to crumble. Jimmy, I'll attack you with a 3/3. Mel, I'll attack you with a 3/3. Josh, I'll attack you with a 3/3. And Mel, take an additional 3/3 and a 1/1.
So we actually have some tricks here, which we're hoping can sort of swing the tide of battle.
Okay.
This is a spicy meatball.
Before blocks, I'm going to flash out the Vizier of Deferment. And I'm going to exile one of the 3/3s coming at Mel.
Which gets rid of one of the tokens, and actually will get rid of it for good because of the way that tokens, when they are exiled, they don't come back.
And then we'll go to blocks.
And because I have the Blood Ogre, we can team up with the Vizier of Deferment.
So let's double block the horror that is also going at Mel because she's taking extra damage.
So all of a sudden, Gavin's gonna be down 2 of the tokens.
I'm feeling pretty good.
Well, it looks like this horror is going to die, but before damage, you fools! Fortunately, I can take care of this combat just fine. Doomblade on the Blood Ogre. There will be blood indeed, or perhaps there will be blade. Now they've only got a 2/2 versus my 3/3. I'm gonna eat theirs alive, and my creature still stands. So Mel will take 1, and you will both take 3. They have no creatures left. I feel great.
Oh my god, this was such a blowout.
Oh, and there's a bit of icing on top. And then, for my last trick, you thought it was over. Creatures have died this turn. For a single black, here's the Bone Picker. Oh no! An Almond Cat card.
Oh my gosh. This
Okay.
is the most efficient Nicol Bolas turn I've ever seen.
It's a 1 mana 3/2 flying Death Touch. 1 mana. Who designed that card? It's probably Gavin.
All of a sudden, we have 0 creatures. Gavin has all of his.
What do we got, everybody? What do we got, everybody? Let us confer.
So this is looking pretty bad right now.
That or this, but I don't think we're
Yeah,
doing
that's
this
not-
anytime soon. We are very far behind.
So this has got to go first.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, you play that first.
Okay,
All
I'm
right,
ready.
ready?
You ready?
All right.
Let's do this.
1,
2,
3,
go!
I shall start by playing Forgotten Ancient.
Sequencing becomes really important on this turn for us, and we make sure that Mel plays her Forgotten Ancient first, so that when Jimmy and I play our subsequent spells, they trigger the Forgotten Ancient.
All right, Forgotten Ancient, get in there, start growing.
Oh no, I have to get rid of this. It's going to get a +1/+1 counter anytime anybody casts a spell the rest of the game. That's going to be huge. There are 4 players in this game.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna play a spell, Audric, Master Tactician, and I'm gonna make your Forgotten Ancient a little bigger. Audric is a 3/4 with first strike, which is really, really nice against 3/3 horror tokens.
I'm going to cast Chandra's Outrage on the Bone Picker.
Forgotten
Fair.
Ancient will get another counter.
And I take 2 damage. First damage to Nicol Bolas.
Ooh, nice. We're finally in a position where maybe, just maybe, we can stabilize.
And it is time to... Because I have willed it. So Nightscape Familiar was already providing me a cost discount. Now I can get 2 mana off my spells. Yeah, I'll take that.
What? Are you serious? 2 ongoing schemes? So much value.
It's like a Black Friday sale up in here for Nicol Bolas.
All right, first, the attacks. Josh, a horror. Mel, a horror. Jimmy, a horror.
I feel like we have to block.
Yeah, you have to. You gotta make him use cards if he's got them, I think.
I will put Audric Master Tactician in front of 1 horror, and Mel.
Well,
I
what
almost-
good is it if you're not gonna block
much
with it? Like, why?
potential.
Yeah,
That's true,
but if it dies now, next turn it could eat something. I don't know. I just feel like
No, it's not
okay.
gonna die. It's a 2/5. So
mean-
he's gonna have to use a card, or he's not gonna have to use a card.
Okay, I'm just worried
Cards
of
in
like
hand?
a trumpet blast. I'd say give it 1 turn of not blocking.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it safe this one.
So Jimmy, you're blocking 1, and the rest are going through.
Yep.
Okay.
That is acceptable.
Ouch. So the damage is really starting to add up now.
Okay, it's time for the Blood Tyrant to enter the fray.
Oh boy.
Oh
okay.
boy, that
I mean,
guy's gonna grow quickly.
Because of the discounts from Nightscape Familiar and the scheme, Blood Tyrant is able to come out like super early, and this card is incredibly scary.
Blood Tyrant is brutal in a 4-player game.
The big thing is that against multiple opponents, you're able to drain a ton of life and make this thing huge.
And it flies. This is gonna get ugly real fast unless we draw something. And because you cast a spell, I'm going to tick up Forgotten Ancient.
That's what we call a consolation prize.
Go ahead.
I'll play my land, and then that will put up your Rune Expedition to 3. So now I'm gonna remove 3 quest counters and sacrifice it to draw 2 cards. All right, I will play a Wind Rider Eel. I'm eyeing that Blood Tyrant, and he's looking real scary and real hungry. My job right now is just to throw something, anything in front of him. So Wind Rider Eel, I'm sorry, it's time to fall on your sword. Finn, you know what I mean. So that's going to tick up Forgotten Ancient to 4.
I'm gonna play Torchling.
Ooh.
It just seems so unimportant at this point because we're looking up and the Torchling doesn't do anything about the Blood Tyrant. And that will tick up Forgotten Ancient.
Okay, I'm going to tap 4 and play Relief Captain. The support mechanic lets me put +1/+1 counters on other creatures when this creature enters the battlefield. It's great. It's super in line with the Gideon helping out his allies. So I will put 1 for sure on the Wind Rider Eel. The Torchling and Audric. Oh, and Forgotten Agent will tick up because I cast the spell. Everyone's getting buffed up. I'm feeling good. My muscles are shining. All right, pass turn. Ha! Nothing can go wrong now.
Okay, upkeep. Blood Tyrant's trigger happens. So everyone will lose 1 life, myself included. I keep it fair.
I'm at half my starting life total.
Thanks, Nicol Bolas.
And it gets a +1/+1 counter for each life lost this way. So 4 counters, please. And then a scheme. Make yourself useful. Well, my friends. Oh, I'll go back up above my starting life total and get rid of the biggest threat on the board. That sounds great. So, Forgotten Ancient, make yourself useful.
So the Forgotten Ancient was one of our plans for later in the game. Also, it had the possibility of being able to move its counters over to the eel at some point and make it so that maybe it could block and eat that Blood Tyrant, or we could outrace it or something. So losing that's really bad.
So, gain 8 life. Yes.
So we've gone in the wrong direction.
Huh. Okay, that wasn't so bad. He's at 45 life. Things could be worse. We still have a chump blocker.
And now I've got bad news for you. So for 3 mana, -2, I'm going to cast Slave of Bolas on Audric Master Tactician.
Oh, the worst creature to be taken right now.
So Audric's betrayed us. Now that means that Gavin gets to choose who blocks.
Just.
Oh, what a beating. What a brutal beating.
And now I will go to my combat step.
Yep.
Blood Tyrant and Horror, you're going after Mel. Nightscape Familiar, you're going after Jimmy. Horror and Audric, you're going after Josh.
So because of Audric's ability, Gavin's able to tell all of our creatures how to block.
Whether it blocks, what creatures it blocks, if it just sits back and watches TV.
So, Torchling, you're going to block Audric. Windrider Eel is going to choose to not block.
Yep.
Relief Captain is going to block the horror that is attacking Josh.
So we have to block like this because of Audric.
You're forced to. You are compelled.
This is brutal, guys.
I think this is going to be the end for poor Nissa.
So I've been targeting Mel this game because the green-blue deck has the best long game. And so I want to take that out of the picture, and I'll deal with Josh and Jimmy next.
Okay, so let's resolve damage then. The Horror and the Relief Captain will trade. And Audric will eat the Torchling. The Nightscape Familiar will hit Jimmy for 1. Then Audric will tell the eel not to block, leaving Mel defenseless against the Blood Tyrant and the remaining Horror.
So I spent my whole turn trying to get out a chump blocker, and then Audric comes in and betrays us, and Windrider Eel just doesn't do anything, and I'm done for!
Oh, and interesting, a player lost the game. I'll put 5 +1/+1 counters on Blood Tyrants. Okay, that's it. Go ahead.
So Audric dies?
Yeah.
Audric is dead. Thank you for your service.
Oh gosh. What Gavin doesn't realize is that my muscles are still here. I will
Okay.
play Gideon Jura. Hooray! And I'm going to use his -2 to destroy target tapped creature. Goodbye, Blood Tyrant.
So this is a huge play because getting rid of the Blood Tyrant gives us a chance in the game.
Death to tyrants!
Death to tyrants.
I'm pro-Tyrant, personally.
So I'm going to play Gutter Snipe. Gutter Snipe can be a really good chump blocker in the case where something comes at Gideon, because if Gideon can stay on the board, we can start to accrue incremental advantage.
This is potentially the turning point in the game. A planeswalker on the battlefield that is unable to be removed in 1 turn can often be a huge problem for opponents.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Tyrant.
And for a second, we have a teeny bit of breathing room.
Yes, yes.
Like this much.
Next up, it is... What's yours is now mine.
No, did this just happen?
I will choose Gutter Snipe and gain control of it. Gutter Snipe is the only creature they have, and not only will I take it, but it's probably better for me than it is for them.
Those schemes, man, they just ruin all your plans. That's funny, because doesn't scheme mean plan? This is bad.
Well, time to attack. The Horror is still compelled to attack Josh, and Nightscape Familiar is going to attack Gideon Jura.
My muscles.
And then I will cast yet another Lightning Bolt, targeting Jimmy, but it's gonna redirect to Gideon.
Which means Gideon dies.
Gutter Snipe's going to trigger. You're each going to take 2 points of damage.
All right, in response to Lightning Bolt, I'm gonna flash out Dual Caster Mage.
Oh.
I'm gonna copy the bolt and aim it at Gutter Snipe. Which I have to do because the Gutter Snipe will literally kill us in like a couple of turns, especially me, I'm at a really low life total.
So while we do take a lot of damage and we lose a Gideon, at the very least, Gavin isn't going to be able to just cast instants and sorceries to kill us. He's going to have to use creature combat for the most part.
Gutter Snipe goes away, but his trigger is still around,
Yep.
so you'll both take 2.
Yikes.
All right, next, it is time for the Icefall Regent. Since you were kind enough to put out a creature, I will tap your creature and it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step as long as I control Icefall region.
So the Dual Caster Mage gets tapped, so that's one blocker gone, but more importantly, it's another flyer that we have to deal with, and it's 4 power in the air.
Here we are again with a huge flyer and only a couple of turns to deal with it before we're gonna die.
I wish you the best of luck. Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to play Fiend Slayer Paladin, and those who serve. Fiend Slayer is going to be able to get me back a little bit of life. It's pretty much untargetable by Gavin's deck, and those who serve is a great blocker in general. So trying to set up a nice ground presence so that once we get rid of the Icefall region, maybe we can start climbing back into the game.
So in my hand, I have 2 Fiery Falls and 7 lands on the table.
Another really important text on the Icefall region, you have to pay 2 extra mana every single time you target it with something, which means it's going to cost 8 mana if he wants to target and kill the Icefall region.
So my plan is to cycle one of the Fiery Falls, put that land into play as my 8th land, and then cast the other one, paying the 2 extra to get rid of that Icefall region.
Which is going to save our butts in this game.
Go ahead, Mr. Bolas.
And here we go. Every dream a nightmare. This scheme might not seem that strong, but it's actually kind of perfect right now, because either they're going to discard lands, and I'm going to get cards to kill them with, or they're going to discard spells when they're the last few spells in their hand. I've got them on the ropes.
So this discard scheme comes in and
Just straight wrecks our plan. I will discard those who serve.
I'll discard Fiery Fall.
Oh God, this is so brutal.
All right, Icefall Regent is going to attack Josh. Nightscape Familiar is going to attack Josh. And the Horror token is still compelled to attack Josh. It must attack him.
Jimmy, save me.
Okay, so I have to block for Josh here, being the buffest dude on the planet. So let's put the Fiend Slayer Paladin in front of the Horror, and then I'll put the Those Who Serve in front of the Nightscape Familiar.
I will choose to regenerate Nightscape Familiar.
Okay.
So first strike damage happens here. You gain 2 life. Fiend Slayer Paladin, it's eaten. And then Icefall Regent hits Josh for 4.
I got a 1.
You go to 1. I don't see any reason to finish you off yet. Go.
So I'm basically have to top deck a land here to kill that flyer, otherwise I'm just dead.
If Josh can find the 8th land, we are gonna be in super solid position.
I did not draw a land.
And then he doesn't top deck a land, so he didn't get it.
My bad.
What'd you draw? That is not good enough.
So I'm basically dead at this point. I'm at 1 and he's got the flyer and I can't remove it and neither can Jimmy. So the most important thing is to try and put Jimmy into a position where maybe once it's heads up with Gavin, he has a chance here.
All right, well, I'm gonna do the best play I can, which is play Sun Titan. And I'm gonna return the Fiend Slayer Paladin to the battlefield.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
And then I'm gonna play Hammer Hand on the Sun Titan.
Nice.
So you'll have haste. That means the Sun Titan can swing.
And then I will go to combat. Sun Titan will swing for 6. And Sun Titan will trigger, bringing back the Vizier of Deferment. And when it enters, I'm going to exile the Sun Titan. And then I'll go to the end of my turn, and the Sun Titan will return because of Vizier of Deferment's text, which will trigger its ability, and then bring back 1 more Those Who Serve. So I have a big board.
Whoa, where'd all that come from? I thought I had it in the bag and now there's a bunch of creatures on the board?
Gavin's only got 1 card in hand. He's gonna have to swing at me this turn to kill me. So our team still has a chance to win, even if it's inevitable that I'm about to die.
All right, pass turn.
Okay, here we go. When will you learn? Each opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. You may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs.
Without paying the mana cost? Land.
Shoot.
Searing Spear.
Oh boy.
You can literally just kill me with it.
Searing Spear is really interesting. Josh is at 1. If I hit him, I take him out. But I think this turn I'm already going to be able to attack him. So I send it to Jimmy.
I'll take 3 damage. I go to 9.
And now it's time for a little show. I'm going to cast Sudden Demise, choosing white. I will deal 7 damage to each white creature.
So Gavin is able to single-handedly get rid of my entire board.
Wow.
Sudden demise. I did not see this coming.
So this is the part of the game where I do this.
Well, the Horror has to attack Josh,
Yeah.
and these 2 are going to attack Jimmy.
We get pretty lucky here in that Gavin only attacks me with the 1 creature.
Okay, so I'm gonna take 5 damage.
And Josh.
Okay, I'm gonna Fiery Fall that Horror.
Oh man, I should have attacked Josh with the Nightscape Familiar too. That 1 damage is not going to be relevant on Jimmy, but him still being in this game could help him turn it around.
And so all of a sudden, instead of dying, I have 1 more draw step.
I'm gonna draw for the turn.
Top deck city.
It was...
That's a good card. So I draw a very powerful spell here. I'm gonna play Chandra.
Nice.
And one that, it's sneaky good in this situation. I'm gonna plus Chandra, which will deal 1 damage to you, Gavin, and 1 damage to the Nightscape Familiar.
Because Gavin is tapped out, he can't regenerate it. That's one creature down. Okay, I'm gonna play the Expedition Raptor. Support 2, but I'm only gonna support 1 creature, putting a +1/+1 counter on the Dual Caster Mage.
So he's gonna be able to chump block the Icefall Regent, which means that I'll actually be able to survive even another turn, and Chandra will still be around.
We might actually get another turn because of Gavin's attack on the earlier turn not being able to kill Josh.
Leaving Josh at 1 there could really cost me. This couple of plays gives them just enough to give them another chance.
And Gavin only has 1 card. So if that card's not a removal spell, we're in pretty good shape.
I'm really excited. This actually bodes very well for us.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Not really.
All right, so let's see what you've got in store. This world belongs to me. Yeah, okay, this is what I needed. I draw 2 cards, which should give me plenty of gas to close out the game.
It's like he did it, and then he just goes, oh yeah, but now I got all this.
Well, my spells cost 1 less, so Flame Tongue Kavu deals 4 damage to it, so that'll get rid of the raptor.
And then it all came tumbling down.
Icefall Regent attacks Josh for 4 damage.
So with the Expedition Raptor dead, there's no chump blocker for the Icefall Regent, and so Gavin can just swing in and
Gavin passes the turn back to me, and I have to top deck a removal spell at this point, otherwise I'm just done for. And I do top deck a removal spell. I'm gonna cast Excoriate, targeting the Icefall Regent. So I'm gonna get rid of 1 thing, tapped all my mana, pass the turn back.
And then I think, Jimmy, I will greet you warmly with Flame Tongue Kavu, a nice little blast of fire to the face.
Gideon was like, I got this, Excoriate. I'm gonna get rid of Nicol Bolas in no time whatsoever. No!
Victory! Yeah! Go Bolas.
Yay, Bolas.
Hey, go Bolas.
Go Bolas.
What a swell dude.
How's your jaw feeling?
I just want to talk like this. It hurts. I got bruised. I don't think I've been beat that badly in quite a while. Oof.
Oh, hey, everybody.
Yeah, well, that was game 1. We're about to jump into game 2. We'll see if the Gatewatch can conquer Bolas this time around. But before that, hey, did you like Archenemy Nicol Bolas? Is this something that you're interested in purchasing? Well, you should go to cardkingdom.com/archenemy NB. That's for Nicol Bolas, and it'll direct you right to the page where you can purchase this product right now.
I would highly recommend it. As you can see, it's super fun. You might also have noticed in the video that we have all the decks sleeved in some very special sleeves. They are the John Avon Full Art Sleeves by UltraPro.
Yeah, and they're really, really cool. I was so glad that we could have them because I love theming decks to the color of sleeves. And in this case, we have red, white, and green, and we have those exact sleeves. The art is amazing. UltraPro has been making tons of really cool sleeves recently.
We also have something very special that we're giving away at the end of the episode. Again, stick around after game 2, which are the Eclipse sleeves. And you might notice these are the black Eclipse sleeves, as yet unavailable. They're coming out in about a month, but you can win them at the end of this episode, which I guarantee you'll be the first in your playgroup to have them. So,
ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's some swag right there.
But before we get to that giveaway, we have another game of Archenemy to play. Mel Li this time will be playing Archenemy Nicol Bolas. Josh, you're going to be Gideon with the muscles. Gavin's going to be Chandra with the fire, and I'm going to be Nissa with the
plants.
Plants.
Yeah, the plants.
That's kind of unimpressive.
All right. We'll see you after game 2.
Bring it on, Bolas. Bring it on.
All right, take
All
it.
right,
Turn.
minions, and now, no one will hear your cries.
The scheme deck is full of so many horrible things that she could hit on the first turn. So to hit this, it's a big sigh of relief.
It's kind of a really big whiff.
Mel basically just pulled a scheme that had no text for us because we didn't have any creatures yet, which is great because she doesn't get any advantage over us yet.
And I will play a Grixis Panorama, and then I will pass my turn.
So the scheme is essentially useless, and it's a great way to start off.
Okay,
All
I'll
right.
play a forest.
Here comes the Grim Lavamancer.
I will play Scoot Mob.
Luckily, both Jimmy and Gavin have turn 1 plays, so we already have a board presence.
I get to play Scoot Mob, the cutest little Scoot Mob, the cutest creature in the world on turn 1.
The cute pun work.
Yeah, it didn't work out that well. I suppose
And
we'll
then
pass the
we'll
turn
pass
back.
My laughter echoes, echoes.
This is actually one of my favorite schemes from when we were designing, and now I'm terrified because I know just how strong it is.
So this is a really powerful scheme, but it's also not getting me off to the fastest start. And then I'm going to cast an old friend of ours, the Nightscape Familiar.
Oh, hello.
That guy just gives insane value. He's an awesome blocker, and he makes a lot of my spells way cheaper. And that's gonna add up over the game.
I don't like it.
I will pass my turn to you.
So it's turn 2, and it's already a very interesting turn.
All right, so now what do we want to do here? So I've got a couple options.
We're all conferring and
I think
Do
this is
this
good with
and
this. Okay, I'm going to cast the Sixth Sense.
And the Grim Lawmancer is going to also pick up a Hammer Hand. And Knights get familiar, can't block.
Using Sixth Sense and Hammer Hand on Gavin's creature means that we can swing in for a little bit of damage, and Gavin's gonna be able to draw cards, something that the red deck has a lot of trouble with in general.
Combats. Grim Lawmancer attacks for 2.
Scoot Mob will scoot in for 1.
Oh, a mere 3 damage. Fine.
Gavin draws.
I will draw a card, thank you very much.
It feels like a good play. It feels like we're set up pretty well.
Plus, if Mel doesn't deal with it right away, this could be worth 2, 3, 4 cards over the course of the game, and we need those cards to overpower her schemes.
I believe that is going to be our turn.
Yep.
Well, behold my grandeur. So Behold My Grandeur gives me a lot of mana, and I've also got a scheme that can copy this scheme. So why not just go for it? I'm gonna put 6 mana in my mana pool, and I've got a bunch of cards in hand.
The Nicol Bolas deck is full of big, expensive, powerful cards.
Oh boy.
6 mana on turn 3 is kind of not what I was hoping for.
My mana
this
pool.
is terrifying.
It's probably fine, I wouldn't worry about it. Okay, so with this extra 6 whole mana, I'm going to start out by playing a Baleful Strix. So that's going to draw me a card. And then, with 3 mana, because of the deals provided by Nightscape Familiar, I'm going to play a Flametongue Kavu. So that is gonna shoot this Lavamancer. So now I have 1 remaining mana. So I'm going to use that 1, tap and sack Grixis Panorama to go find myself a mountain.
So for one scheme, she has essentially played 3 cards, drawn 1, killed another creature that had 2 enchantments on it, and got a land off of her fetch land.
And now I will go to combat, and I'll attack Gavin with Nightscape Familiar.
All of a sudden, we're looking down at our board and we have a 1/1 creature, but she's got a 4/2 and a 1/1 and plenty of lands, and it's already gone downhill pretty fast.
And then I will pass my turn.
Okay.
I'll play a plains.
So I feel bad because I didn't draw my 3rd land drop. I'm going to main phase a Sylvan Bounty to basic land cycle, and I will go and find a forest, and then I'll play it for my land for the turn. Okay.
Not a great use of our 3rd turn, but he just has to do it.
So another decision to make. I can either put out the Gutter Snipe, or I can hold up mana for Dual Caster Mage. But I don't know if she's gonna play an instant or sorcery, and I'd rather combo it for sure with something from a teammate later on. So I'll just go ahead, slam down this Gutter Snipe, and hope it survives.
I'll play Gutter Snipe.
And I'm gonna play Mentor of the Mage. So I'm able to make my first play, which is also a good card to play early because all my subsequent creatures that are small are gonna draw me more cards. So it just sets me up well for later. Go ahead, Mel.
Pass back.
So at the end of the turn,
Oh, no.
I have sad news. I'm gonna cast Doomblade, targeting Gutter Snipe.
This is Gavin, checking in. Gutter Snipe, didn't survive.
All right, Planeswalkers, next turn. Power without equal.
Oh boy.
So this has been a pretty sweet last few schemes. I've gotten all the mana, and now I'm gonna get all the cards.
Make no mistake, 3 cards for free is scary, but not the scariest thing she could hit.
It doesn't give her any board advantage, so it's not the worst thing that could happen.
I'm actually feeling kind of okay about this.
Okay, now it's time for Reckless
Ooh.
Bite at this cute mob and Mentor. So my strategies, I'm just gonna take out everything in sight.
So all of a sudden, boom, we're back at ground zero. We have literally nothing on our board anymore.
Mentor for the Meat gone, Scoop Mob gone, our whole board gone, everything gone. That was a Karate Kid 2 reference for those people that didn't get it.
All right, Flametongue Kavu and Baleful Strix are coming at Jimmy. By taking out a player early, I cut off a lot of the future problems that I could have. So instead of trying to distribute around the damage, I want to really target somebody.
Oh boy. I will take 5 then, I suppose.
So Jimmy's going down.
Come on, man. Why you gotta do me like this?
And I will pass my turn.
So both Jimmy and Gavin don't have a lot of lands in hand, so we decided to sort of take this turn off for them and draw a bunch of cards so they're able to hit their land drops.
I'm going to tap 3 mana and cast Compulsive Research, targeting Gavin.
Teamwork moment!
One thing I love about Archenemy is these great team up moments where you and your teammate get to do a cool thing together, and this is perfect for that.
Dual Caster Mage.
Dualcaster Mage is the compulsive research. I target Jimmy. It's like a magical high five of awesomeness.
Drawing cards!
Is that good?
Thanks, Gavin. I'm going to
all
draw
the
3 cards,
And I will draw 3 cards.
and I'm going to discard a land card.
I'll discard Skargan Firebird and Limits of Solidarity.
So Gavin and Jimmy just drew a bunch of cards, and this is exactly the thing that I don't want to happen. So it's also the reason that I know I've got to take Jimmy out.
And then I will play a Precinct Captain.
First strike.
Great.
Get in the way of
Good
that
blocker.
FTK.
Yeah.
Precinct Captain looks pretty good on this board because it's a 2/2 with first strike, which means that most of Mel's creatures can't attack into it because it just kind of eats it for free like the Flame Tongue combo. So it actually can stop some of the damage coming in at us and make all that drawing of cards kind of safe to do.
Pass turn, Bolas.
All right, scheme says the mighty will fall.
This scheme is actually great here, and it's very Vorthos-y that Gideon is able to like Hulk out and take the damage for everybody.
Ooh, okay, all right.
So this scheme is not really actively something I'm going after. It's nice, it's just not the greatest scheme.
So as far as schemes go, I think we're doing pretty good here. First turn was all right. The second turn was like, okay, danger. Third, you know what? Never mind. All the schemes have been bad. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna go to attacks. I will swing at Jimmy with the Baleful Strix.
I will take 1 and go to 14.
And then I'm gonna cast Vampire Nighthawk and the Talisman of Dominance. So I've got a bunch of cards in my hand at this point, so it's time to start getting my mana base so I can get a bunch of these cards out there as soon as possible.
Okay.
Our turn?
Pass turn.
I'm feeling pretty good right now. She's not done too much. Her past 2 skims have been only okay. She's ramping her mana, sure, but we've got some big plays in the future. And I think things might start to swing our way.
All right.
What is the thing you guys want to do the most?
This turn is where the teamwork really starts, we just start honing in the teamwork here.
So you play that, I play this.
Yeah.
Then you play a land.
This.
Put the counter here on
Yeah.
the flyer.
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that.
It gets kind of complicated when you have like 3 players and you're all working together because you're like, okay, I gotta play this first, then you play that, then I play this, then that puts that thing there, and then, and if you don't do it right, then you miss out on some value.
So I've got this Inferno Titan in my hand, which I'm really trying to build up to. But I need to get my land drops to make sure that I can eventually get there.
So we're gonna start with a Tormenting Voice. So tormenting. I'll discard the Battle Rattle Shaman and draw 2 cards. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Didn't find the land drop I needed. Not ideal, but I kept Fiery Fall as a backup plan. I'll probably need the 5 damage later, but the land is way more valuable now.
Okay, I'm going to play Retreat to Kazandu.
Then I will play Expedition Raptor.
And that'll support 2, and I'll put a counter on the Precinct Captain and the Dualcaster Mage.
Then I will play my land for the turn, trigger the Retreat to Kazandu, and I'm going to put a +1/+1 counter on the Expedition Raptor.
Teamwork.
Teamwork.
So go to combat, and I'm gonna swing with my Precinct Captain, which is a 3/3 first strike.
No blocks.
Okay, so you take 3, and I get a soldier token.
Nice.
And then I will Initiate's Companion. Meow.
It's not too scary yet, but once they get a lot of creatures out, then I'm gonna be worried because I can't start being offensive anymore, and I'm gonna start having to backpedal. All right, and now, a reckoning approaches.
So this is a scary scheme, but there is a chance to whiff, right? I mean, you could look at the top 6 cards, and what if you don't see a creature? Well, in that case, you don't get anything.
So I flip over 1, land, land, land,
Whiff. Whiff.
land,
Whiff, whiff,
artifact.
whiff, whiff, whiff.
I'm a little nervous right now.
Whiff. Whiff.
And I flip over the last one.
Oh no, she made the face, guys.
Ah, yeah. It is he, the Harvester of Souls. So at this point, I'm really happy.
It's horrible because now anytime we trade with a creature or destroy a creature, she's just drawing cards.
Now this is a big problem. The Bolas deck is full of really efficient 1-for-1 removal spells, but when all those creatures that she's killing are just turning into more cards, that's more removal spells, more creatures dead, and we will eventually get overwhelmed. So that thing needs to go.
Jeez,
Okay.
she's gonna have all the cards.
Okay, I'm going to cast Slave of Bolas, and I will cast it on this Expedition Raptor.
Hooray! There goes our 3/3 blocker in the sky.
Oh man.
That is dangerous.
I'm just going to go after that strategy of going after Jimmy.
Oh, gosh.
Jimmy, you're going to be taking
5 in
3,
the air.
4, 5.
And boy, those creatures are turning sideways and they're coming straight for my face. Okay, and then you gain 2. You got the 31, I'll go to 9.
So now it is my end step,
Yep.
and that poor Expedition Raptor is going to meet its end.
This is it's just the worst.
So when the Expedition Raptor dies, Harvester of Souls is going to trigger, and I'm going to draw a card.
She's drawing cards, she's killing our creatures, she's smacking Jimmy around like a little doll. It's It's all bad.
So now,
That was
what
brutal.
do we think? Moment of truth.
I've got Firefall in my hand, and I've got two choices. I can land cycle here and guarantee the land for next turn to play Inferno Titan, but that 5 damage will also take out the Harvester of Souls. So if I draw the land, I can put it down and kill off the Harvester. If I don't draw that land, I can't cast Fiery Fall or Inferno Titan, and that would be an unmitigated disaster. So do I think the land is there? It's hard. I want to go for the safe play though.
I'm gonna land cycle Fiery Fall. All right, untap.
Untap.
Here we go. Inferno Titan. Deal 2 damage to Flame Tongue Cobb and 1 damage to Baleful Strike.
Okay, so because of Harvester of Souls, I get to draw 2 cards.
Good card.
So I drawn 3 cards off it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play Aegis Angel, and I'm gonna target the Inferno Titan to make it indestructible.
So now we're gonna turn off all of Mel's Doom Blades and her Lightning Bolts and all this stuff that destroys creatures and be like, nope, you gotta destroy the Aegis Angel first.
So I'm pretty scared at this point. There's a lot of creatures out on the other side. An Aegis Angel. I gotta be able to deal with that.
Okay, I'm going to play Explore. So I can play an additional land this turn, and I get to draw a card. I will play my land for the turn, and retreat to Kazandu with trigger, and I'm gonna put another +1/+1 counter on the Precinct Captain. Then I will tap 4 mana and play the Wind Rider Eel. There's not much that can really get around our board right now. I am feeling superb.
Here we are. It's the 4th quarter. We're a little bit down in points, but it's gonna be okay. We're getting back in the game. Inferno Titan, bam, advancing the field, first down. Here comes Aegis Angel, extra protection. We're going the whole way. Jimmy's got a Wind Rider Eel. We are in great shape. Let's do this, boys.
All right, don't crush us. Your turn.
And now,
No!
this is better than ice cream, better than Christmas. It's just awesome.
So everybody's gotta sacrifice 2 creatures because she has 6 lands, and Jimmy and Gavin only have 2 creatures. I only have 3.
Oh no.
And then out of nowhere, we get tackled. The ball pops out. Someone picks it up and starts running the other direction. And now we're in tough shape.
Man.
So because of Harvester of Souls, let's draw 5 cards.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, we got wrecked.
Yeah, that's bad.
Life is great. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana for Overseer of the Damned. And I'm going to target Aegis Angel. Now the death of Aegis Angel is going to get me both a card, and I'm gonna get to make a zombie.
This is ridiculous.
You know what? I got another mana,
What?
and something just died. Let's put in a bone picker. Let's just have a party with everybody.
Yeah, that's 8, 10 in the air, by the way.
All right, so now let's swing in, Jimmy, my friend.
I'm gonna be attacked for 9 here.
8.
8.
8?
You go to 1.
Okay, I'm gonna go to 1.
I will gain 2.
Sweet.
Oh, I remember back 2 minutes ago when that board looked so scary in front of me.
Oh.
I feel like I should give an evil laugh for that.
Sure, do it. Have you been practicing your evil laugh?
Oh, that comes naturally.
All right.
All right, ready?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
okay.
Untap.
Things are rough, absolutely. But when you're in a corner in a game of Magic, you have to not think about how dead you are. You have to think about what your chances of winning are and how you can play to your outs.
Okay, well, I'm definitely playing Gideon's Lockkeeper.
Our entire team plan at this moment is just try and keep Jimmy alive, because basically if one of your team dies, you lose all the mana they have available to them and the card draw they have, so you lose just so much power.
I will play Fertilid.
Fertilid is actually a pretty versatile card in this situation, because with Retreat to Kazandu, it has the ability to do things like add counters, give other people lands, gain life, and so Mel's just gonna have a lot of interesting decisions about how that combat math and everything lines up.
So I'm gonna drop 1 land this turn right now, and I'm going to gain 2 life. All right, sweet.
I've got a removal spell in my hand, and if we can just let Jimmy survive, we may have a chance yet of turning the tide.
I think we're just gonna pass here.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Pass the turn back to
Pass
you.
back.
All right, and now it's time to scheme. Choose your demise. And this is one of my favorite types of cards to play, because there's nothing better than being the arch villain and forcing your opponents to see the horrible fate that they've chosen for themselves. All right, choose Planeswalkers.
This one has a land and a dreadbore.
I guess I like giving her the land and the dreadbore.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good stuff to remove right now, and I don't want
Yeah.
to know what's in the other half.
Yeah, okay. You can have the land and the dreadbore.
Oh, thank you. So I'll be honest with you, the dreadbore was really the thing that I wanted, and there was really nothing else in that card pile. Lightning bolt
Oh,
on your
Lawkeeper.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna respond by playing Volcanic Geyser. I want to do this now because she has 2 creatures that trigger off another creature dying. So I want to make sure that one of them goes away before the Gideon's Lawkeeper dies. So what's my pick? Now here's the thing. We're already really far behind in cards, and in Magic, you have to kind of think about the arenas that you're fighting on. Are you going to fight on the card advantage arena? That ship has sailed. She's drawn a ton of extra cards. We have to fight her on a different axis. And the way to fight is board presence. Let's kill the Overseer and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna Volcanic Geyser the Overseer for 5.
Oh, okay.
So the Overseer dies, you draw a card, then Gideon's Lawkeeper dies, and you draw another card.
Okay, now it's time for Extract from Darkness. So each player will put 2 cards from his or her library into his or her graveyard, and then I get to put a creature from a graveyard, any graveyard,
Top
onto the
3.
battlefield under my control.
Josh,
Okay, Grand Abolisher, Sun Titan.
I will put Colony Heart Expedition in Rampaging Warlocks.
I'll put Mountain and Pathmaker Initiate.
I will put a Crumbling Necropolis and a Lightning Bolt into my graveyard. So it was a pretty difficult decision to try to figure out what to get back when there's so much good stuff in the graveyard. There's a Sun Titan, an Inferno Titan, a Rampaging Balos, and my old friend the Overseer. I'm gonna go for the Overseer. And I'm going to target Jimmy's Fertilid.
If you heard a squeaking sound there, it was the knife twisting into my stomach as that came back.
It squeaks?
Okay, big question. I have 2 activations
Yeah.
of the Fertilid here. So Mel targets my Fertilid, and it's the choice now. Do I use the counters to give other people lands, or should I put the lands on my battlefield and get some life?
We don't know how much stuff Mel's gonna send at him to try and kill him, so it's a really tough decision point, because if he gains a bunch of life, but then Mel sends enough things to kill him, then all that life gain was for nothing and doesn't matter. But if she doesn't, then the life gain's awesome because it gives him another turn.
Okay, I'm going to tap 2 and use the Fertilid once to give Gavin a land, and then I will use the Fertilid again to give myself a land, and then I will gain 2 life off of it.
So you go to 5.
Yes.
Fertilid dies.
So since Jimmy's Fertilid died, it's going to trigger Harvester of Souls and Overseer of the Damned. Zombie comes into play tapped, and I will draw a card. So I'm sticking to my plan of taking out one player first, and Jimmy's in my sights, and he's getting pretty close to the 0 mark now. Okay, Harvester of Souls, coming at you, Jimmy.
Okay.
Nightscape Familiar, Vampire Nighthawk, Bone Picker, and even you, little zombie, are headed over at Josh. So I'm gonna send the finishing blow over to Jimmy, and then put all the rest at Josh.
All right, let's do this thing.
Okay, so in response,
Fortunately, Mel only attacked me with the Harvester of Souls, and the rest go at Josh.
We get lucky here. Mel swings at Jimmy with just enough for lethal.
I'm going to flash in the Vizier of Deferment, and I'm going to exile the Harvester of Souls. It'll come back at end step.
We quite literally defer Jimmy's death till the next turn.
And then I'm thinking I'm gonna be able to block one of Mel's creatures.
In response, I'm going to Doomblade that Vizier of Deferment.
Okay, so I cannot block.
Okay.
So Vizier dies,
So that's going to make a zombie, and I'm going to draw a card.
and then the Harvester is exiled until end of turn.
Harvester
So Jimmy
is
will
now
live.
exiled.
This is what we call a victory, somehow, because she
Yeah, it's
drew a
about the-
card, made a zombie, hit me for, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Takes you to 5, so I don't take any damage, and I get 1 more turn to live. So all in all, as bad as things have gotten, at least there is a little bit of silver lining.
All right, at the end of my turn, my old friend comes back.
So we're really on the back foot. Our back's against the wall here. We don't actually have a lot of options either because we don't have a ton of cards.
I'm going to tap 7 mana and play the Greater Sandworm.
Much better than the lesser Sandworm.
You know, Gavin was talking a lot about Greater Sandworms before we even started shooting today. He's a very renowned scholar when it comes to this sort of stuff.
Hello, I'm Gavin Verhey, the most proficient R&D expert when it comes to greater sandworms. Now let me tell you a few interesting historical facts about greater sandworms. So greater sandworms,
He can tell you all about it. Trust me, he's probably still going.
and they grow larger, up to sizes of about 300 feet or so. They bury in little caves and mostly survive on a diet of mummies and demons out in the wastes.
Here comes the Obsidian Fireheart.
And then I will play Expedition Raptor. And I'll put a counter on the old Sandworm
The
and
Obsidian Fireheart, nice.
The Expedition Raptor can at least chump block something. The Sandworm can make it so that Mel has to at least lose something when she goes after Jimmy to try and kill him. And maybe that can put Gavin and I in a position where we at least have a chance after Jimmy's gone to sort of even things out here.
All right.
Pass the turn back.
Next turn. My forces are innumerable.
Your forces are innumerable. We get it, Mel. We get it. You got zombos, you got cards, you got recursion, you got everything.
It is time. Your god has returned.
And then Nicol Bolas comes out. So, you know, it's called Archenemy Nicol Bolas. I mean, that card probably pretty good.
So Bolas has already been playing a lot of removal, but what's even more fun than taking something out? I will use Nicol Bolas's minus ability and take control of this Greater Sandworm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you remember that Sandworm? I don't know if you heard about it, but Mel takes it here. I don't know if you learned anything about sandworms today.
It's time to be reckless and spiteful.
Oh,
There's
gosh,
two of those?
again?
I'm gonna
There you
play Reckless Spite. I'm going to target your Obsidian Fireheart and your Expedition Raptor. And draw 2 cards and make 2 zombies.
But the silver lining is you take 5 damage, right?
So it's just like, we had 0 chance of surviving this at this point.
All right, Josh, Overseer at you, Jimmy, Harvester at you, and Gavin, all these guys.
I guess the only other option with Greater Sandworm was I could cycle it for a card, but...
I mean, what was a 7/7 going to do for us at that point?
So,
I'm going to cast Chandra's Outrage. I'll kill off Bone Picker and redirect the 2 damage to Nicol Bolas.
So I take 5 and I die.
I'm dead. I take 5 and I die.
And I take 9.
Nine takes-
I'm at 10.
and at the end of my turn, I'm going to make a horror.
So there's one card in my deck that might save me.
I'm gonna draw my card. I'm not gonna look at it.
Nice.
I'm just gonna put it right here on top of my other card.
And I cross my fingers.
I'm gonna be honest, if this scheme kills you before I do, I might be a little bit sad about it. Delight in the hunt.
Can you react to, is there a trigger on
I'll
that?
respond with Smoldering Spires. Good game, Bolas. Good
Good game,
game.
Bolas.
You know, it's kind of funny. I always imagined that Nicol Bolas would be above me, cackling maniacally when I died, but really it's not so bad. I mean, it's pretty good time. Whoa!
Victory for the God Pharaoh.
Magic is such a great game because of all the different ways you can play it.
A lot of people think that Magic is a lot about one-on-one and just trying to play mind games with one opponent and just trying to like stare them down and be really stony-faced. There's so much more to Magic and there's so many more different ways to play. There's all kinds of different formats out there that are really fun to explore.
One of the great things about Archenemy is just that it shows the power of Magic, and not just the way that it connects to people in different ways, but also the amount of different ways that you can play it.
It's Commander. It's Standard. It's Modern. It's Archenemy. It's Plane Chase. It's whatever crazy format you and your brother came up with to play 10 years ago. That is Magic. Play the game that you love in the formats that you love. There is nothing else like it in the world.
I love it. I love that you can play 2 completely different roles, and working with your teammates and showing each other your hands and trying to plan stuff out is really an experience I've never gotten to have playing Magic before, so I'm really glad that Archenemy exists for that reason.
In R&D, we work on things so far in advance that it feels like ages ago I finished Archenemy Nicol Bolas. And so to finally see it out there in the world, walking around, I mean, it's like a baby to me. You know, I just want to cradle it in my arms, give it lots of love, kiss it goodnight. I hope you have as much fun with Nicol Bolas as I have.
This is not creepy at all.
No, let me just try that one more time. That was a little too far. That was a little.
We're keeping that one. What are you talking about?
Hey, you made it to the end of the video.
You made it.
Congrats. Yeah, not congrats to us though, because we didn't win a single game, unfortunately, on game nights this time.
No, we got beat up a little bit. It was still a ton of fun. You know, the teamwork aspect of Archenemy I find to be just extremely exciting and fun, and something that you don't get in other formats of Magic.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work, and we've also teamed up with UltraPro, who is a sponsor of this show. A huge thank you to UltraPro. Look at what they've done. They've provided us with all of these prizes so that they can give it to us to give to you. How exciting.
Very exciting. In fact, they recently got the Legend of Zelda license agreement because there's a whole bunch of Zelda stuff like this playmat. I gotta be honest, I want that playmat, but we only got one, so we're gonna give it away to you guys.
To you all as well. We also have the new Eclipse sleeves, especially in the brand new black color that you cannot get anywhere else. But if you enter into our contest, you can win all of this stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna ask, where do I get those black sleeves? You can get them soon, the Eclipse Black. They're just not available to the public yet, probably in about a month. But for now, you can win them and a bunch of this other stuff. In fact, we have so many prizes. We got boxes of it you can't see behind the camera, and Card Kingdom donated a whole bunch of goodie bags that they're gonna be sending out. So we're gonna pick more prize winners than ever. Pay attention, because we're about to describe how you're going to enter. Ready? It's very simple.
All you have to go is to Twitter or Facebook and make a post with a link to the video that you're watching right now and use the hashtag GameNights. Now the hashtag is gonna help us track it on Twitter and Facebook, and the link to the video is you're gonna help us share this video with as many people as possible. We want the word to get out there that this exists, and hopefully more people will watch it. It'll be a great time. It's a big sharing teamwork opportunity.
And hopefully you'll win some awesome prizes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
And
these sweet gravity dice.
Oh, those dice are so cool.
Yeah, Eclipse sleeves.
Those are
Satin
so cool.
tower boxes.
Everything is wonderful.
Yes. And then, oh yeah, and we got this binder here too.
Yeah. So again, go to Twitter or Facebook, post a link to the video that you're watching right now with the hashtag GameNights. Maybe say something nice about it or say nothing at all. But that's how you're gonna enter this contest, and we're gonna announce the winners 1 week from the posting of this video on Twitter and Facebook. So make sure you're following us there at CommandCast.
Sorry, I messed up our cool display.
It's okay. Well, we're giving
Here,
it all
no,
away
I can fix
anyway.
it. We're good. Yeah, just hold on. I'll be done. in a
It's
second.
never gonna be the same.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And we'll see you next time.
I got this. Don't worry. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, Josh, you ruined it all. That wasn't there originally.
Looks great.
All right, do you want to do like a deck animation or something, Josh?
No, we did the other one. I'm good.
Just in case.
I don't want to die again. I died enough. I died twice today.
I mean, come on, you die all the time in Magic. It's
What?
a big deal.
You die all the time in Magic.
What are you trying to say?
That you die all the time in Magic.
I die a moderate amount. You die all the time.
Fine. Good? You happy?
Yeah, that was a greater sandwich.
Greater that was the lesser sandworm. The greater one's bigger.
Yeah,
This is-
yeah.